Yeah. Look, hey. Might hit a late, you pick up and come do what I wanna. Been buzzing, you know the vibes. Possibly high up this life that I live, I perfected my me back in junior high. Stepped out of circles, I need all that shine on myself. Heard it slacking with suicide. Ceased every sense of my doubt, cause I learned you could be what you want long as you decide. Hang on my phone on the bitch, you be calling her baby, I call her a dub. Fuck niggas all in your section, might stunt your progression, not just in the club. I can't be nothing like niggas, I shoot up the gym, Brody might need a sub. Chasing that hoe, how you saw out the whack, it's too hard to get back where you was. Fuck niggas screaming they necks. Throw all the shade that you wanted, your hoe throw me sex. Watch when you throw up the set. New to the soil, they might put your soul on the jet. I say let go, they forget. I say go get them, they might put that fold to your neck. We carry codes to the vets. She call me daddy, but my city call me the best. Watch how you moving, I shoot. Popping with nothing to prove. What can you do? What can you say so we move? Up and ain't nothing to me if they fuck with the groove. Watch how you flexing them rules. Watch how you step to them niggas with rep in the room. Don't see that weapon assume. Too many talking too big till they head get the boom. Too quick to hang on my phone on the bitch. You be calling the shorty, I call out a play. Back to that shit I was on. If it go, then I'm on it to start up the day. Back to them licks if I had to. My go getters at you, we all in your place. Back to the quickest reaction to fuck shit in traffic. I shoot up the race. Fuck niggas know what to do. Soon as you see us, it get kinda ugly for you. Bitches, you fuck with the choose. Squeeze all that shit that you love, cause there's nothing to lose. Some ain't got nothing to do. They wait for me to say go, then they rushing to you. They get to busting in twos. Empty that then double back just for fucking with dude. Watch how you moving out. Shoot, popping with nothing to prove. What can you do? What can you say so we move? Up and ain't nothing to me if they fuck with the groove. Watch how you flexing them rules. Watch how you step to them niggas with rep in the room. Don't see that weapon assume. Too many talking too big till they head get the boom. Watch how you moving, I shoot. Popping with nothing to prove. What can you do? Gotta watch how you move. Say so we move. Up and ain't nothing to me if they fuck with the groove. Watch how you flexing them rules. Watch how you step to them niggas with rep in the room. Yeah. Feel me?
Cito on the beat.
Howdy. You the type of low I ain't feeling. The type that don't take care of their children. I never ever let a nigga play me. If you get caught, don't save me. I fucks with the hoes and the gangsters. I'm up with the door yelling thank ya. I fucks with the hoes and the gangsters. I'm up with the door yelling thank ya. I'm out here just to flourish. Kicking that shit like Chuck Norris. Saint Laurent staying firm though. Close your motherfucking mouth, you can learn how. Real ones know to be quiet. I'm getting money, you should try it. Eating off a digit scale, fish diet. I don't do drugs, let the bitches try it. She get high on the fucking low. She get by, so I fuck 'em both. Now they kissing in the strip club. Few dollars make them do the most. You the type of low I ain't feeling. The type that don't take care of their children. I never ever let a nigga play me. If you get caught, don't say me. I fucks with the hoes and the gangsters. I'm up with the door yelling thank ya. I fucks with the hoes and the gangsters. I'm up with the door yelling thank ya. Fake niggas stop acting like you know me. We ain't cool, we ain't friends, we ain't homies. Use a Kit Kat, give me a break. I'm head to toe in Versace, but don't fuck with snakes. Medusa, all this Medusa. I'm a pretty fly nigga that'll shoot you. Catch a bitch eye niggas that maneuver. Getting head in the Benz is a soother. I fucks with the hoes and the gangsters. I'm up with the door yelling thank ya. I fucks with the hoes and the gangsters. I'm up with the door yelling thank ya. I fucks with the hoes and the gangsters. I'm up with the door yelling thank ya. I fucks with the hoes and the gangsters. I'm up with the door yelling thank ya. In the streets with the top off, giving niggas every chance just to pop off. They are frauds, they are knockoffs. They a shaman, they a Scotso. Tissue, what's really the issue? Unofficial niggas always hate on the official. I ain't that kind, when I blow it ain't a whistle. I am that kind to stand over you with pistol. It is what it is and I feel no remorse. Been married to the game and we still ain't divorced. Harry with the cane, got the powder, get the coast. Doing business, doing fitness, soft flows, of course. You the type of low I ain't feeling. The type that don't take care of their children. I never ever let a nigga play me.
What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. Nice to see you here. I wanted to give an update to the long-term portfolio, as I still have not sold anything. But just a reminder, look, we're at 104K. We dropped all the way down to 15,000. I'll even pull up the weekly and really showcase where we bought for anyone that's new, what we're planning on, like how high do I think we're actually going to go, and that varies on a couple of different things. But when I start selling, I'm going to make it obvious. I'll tell you guys. If you don't know this, I have a Telegram that's completely free to join. I post literally all of my trades in it. I just posted a short about 2 hours ago. We just took profits on. Posted that result on Twitter. We're actually, this week, we did not have the greatest week ever, but we ended, or are ending break even unless there's a trade later tonight. Last week we ended green. The week before that we ended green. And we actually had a 3-week green streak really before this week. So this week kind of break even. Not a big deal. Not every week's going to be great. I'll explain why it really wasn't as great of a trading week, and walking away break even to me is I'm happy with, right? I didn't take a huge loss. Yeah, I didn't make anything, but that's going to happen when you're trading. That's just how it goes. Honestly, as long as the mic stands, I'm not selling. I can't wait to smash this thing. This thing has cut my face so many times because it falls on my face. It's a big pain. But okay, long-term wise, and I really want to make this stream about like long-term, what you guys should be expecting. Look, I hinted, 130 to 150K is probably the market top. I'll give you some data, some historical data, and you guys can do whatever you want with it. Look, at the end of the day, if we hit 150K, I'm selling pretty much everything, at least half. So, okay, for those of you who don't know, I started buying. Actually, this is my second cycle. The first cycle, we bought a lot in here, bought a lot on COVID. I sold at about 53,000. Was it the top? No. But did we make topping signals to me? Were we following historical analysis? Yes. Actually, this is before I was on Twitter. I was in Discord and I was on TradingView. And I was like, dude, the top is close. It has to be close. There's no way. Like, we just went up 20x from the bottom. Everyone's screaming to buy. It just seems like a top. Plus, we had head and shoulders on the weekly. So on and so forth. So, anyway, second cycle comes around. We drop 80%. For those who don't know, I started buying at 17,500. It lined up with, frankly, a lot of different things for me. One being the monthly, we're going to open this up, the monthly RSI. So if you didn't know this, and I'm actually going to re-add this, monthly usually bottoms around 40. We actually hit 40 at about 17,000. So we spent a couple more months dropping lower. However, this is 25. It's about 17.5 is when I started buying. So anyways, monthly RSI being at about 40 was the bottom. Monthly RSI being at about 85 to 90 is generally the top. And again, this is where I'm like, okay, look, how much higher can we go? We are at, what is that, 76? So another 10 to 15 points, we're likely done. I don't think we'll get all the way to 90. I think it'll catch people off guard. We could get like a very large wick. Like, look, we could get a candle close like 150, but it wicks all the way to like 165 or something like that. Again, once my indications, my historical indications that have worked for the last 3 cycles, I'm out. Okay, I don't care if Bitcoin goes to 500K this year. Will it suck to have missed out? Sure. Those long-term games. Will I be trading that along the way? Of course, right? Of course. But what I'm not going to do is buy into all the hype and all of this statement that's like, oh, Trump's president. That look, I want Trump to be president. I voted for him. I wanted him to be president. It was just guys. I don't care what your political opinions are. It was an easy decision for me. I know Trump is going to bring more financial stability. Not saying I know. I feel like he will. I feel like he's not imposing policies, but he's giving out ideas that are going to bring money back to the American economy. So, yes, I believe the stock market and crypto market will do well during his term. But what I'm not going to do is say, hey, I'm up 10x. Well, really like 7 to 8x from where my average is. It's around like 20K. Let's say my average is 20K. We go all the way to 150. What is that? Like a 7-ish X? 7.5x? I mean, why would you not take profits on that? Especially knowing that, look, you're paying long-term capital gains. We're in a bull run. They don't last forever. They don't. When we get to 150 and your grandma starts hitting you up, it's probably time to sell. I've gone over this several different times. I just wanted to clear that out of the way. So back to my original point, and that being like long-term portfolio. What I believe will happen is this is the kind of last strong wave for Bitcoin, right? I think that Bitcoin goes to like 113, maybe 138. 138 would be excellent. 113, it's still good, but I'd like to see it run higher, personally. So let's say we go to, 138, best case scenario. We'll go over good case scenarios today because we're feeling good today. Especially this weekly looks unreal. So anyways, we go to 138K. What happens there? Right? In my opinion, we come back down to like 113, possibly a little bit lower. Why? Because this is a liquidity shift into altcoins. And we did the exact same thing in 2020 and 2021. We had a couple major corrections that a liquidity shift was happening here. If you pull up Bitcoin dominance, unfortunately, I don't have it there. Really? There was a major liquidity shift that happened right here, right on our first large correction here. Now what we're seeing is on our first kind of larger correction, we have a large liquidity shift here. So in my opinion, has alt season started? No, I don't believe that. But I think we're starting to see money being sold from Bitcoin into altcoins. And that happens every cycle. If you don't believe me, go do your own research. It happens every single cycle. Money gets poured into Bitcoin. Bitcoin goes up. Those profits are taken, rotated into Ethereum, then rotated into Link, then rotated into Crow, then rotated into Shiba Inu, whatever it might be. Hello, can Trump getting into office be the sell the news event? Maybe, but I'm not selling until all of my indications get hit, personally. I don't think Trump getting elected ends the bull run. Everything on my time frame looks unbelievably bullish. And I know the next question is this a double top? And no, I don't believe so. Not at all. I still think we have plenty of room to go higher. Our weekly completely reset. We actually formed bullish divergences on these two weekly candles. I'll even zoom in and show you. I'm going to get rid of this for now. We have higher lows here. We have lower lows here. Very, very obvious. I mean, I think the weekly is going to continue all the way to 113 before we start stalling. The daily has plenty of room to go higher, and the daily just broke out of our kind of consolidation trend here. A lot of people calling this a head and shoulders. This is not a head and shoulders. If anything, and I said this on stream, I've said it several times, this is likely a V-shaped recovery that will go higher. Right? Why do you need a V-shaped recovery? Because we were extremely overbought. Because we were overextended. We needed to cool off, consolidate, to continue higher. That's completely normal in bull runs, in bull markets, just like it's completely normal in bear markets. We're not just straight up and down the whole time. Roman, can an argument be passed that the correction from liquidity shift will be larger than thus compensate for the flooded alt market? As such, we will still have enough to fuel a full-blown alt season. So you're asking, like, will there be enough money to have an alt season? That just depends on how much money rotates from Bitcoin. If Bitcoin's sitting at 150K and it sells off and that money moves into other stuff, like I said, I don't think every altcoin is going to do spectacular, but the top 100 will likely do well. Ethereum will do well. Link, Tau, Fetch, Solana, Gala, BNB, like all the ones that are relevant. Do I think you should be buying, like fart coin? No. Do I think you should be wasting your time with things that haven't been around very long or just have goofy looking charts? Absolutely not. But for the top one, maybe not even top 100, like top 25, top 50, absolutely. Especially if it's an AI driven coin, absolutely. Would new money have to be injected into the markets to permit the movement of Bitcoin dominance downwards whilst ultimately the price constantly pushing up? I mean, price will go up, but it'll be more of like a distribution. Yeah, Tau's potential is immense. Yeah, Tau also, for people that are like, Tau's doing nothing, this coin sucks. Okay, let me show you something real quick. Tau has been consolidating for almost an entire year. And I know it's crazy. Tau basically had a market cycle within a market cycle. It pumped from $8 to $700. Came down all the way down to 200, right? This is a bear market. Literally, that is a bear market. We went down like 80%. Almost 80% correction. We have then came all the way back up, corrected once again. This is consolidation. This could easily go to multiple thousand now. Right? And this is a big reason why I've been holding it. Because if it goes to multiple thousand, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I bought around $100. Right? I bought 100 Tau around $100. Right? I've bought more since then. I bought some at 200. I've bought some at 400. I've bought some at 500. I accumulated in what I thought was pretty solid. Unfortunately, some of those buys weren't fantastic, but I've been accumulating Tau for a while. This is kind of the horse I'm betting on. It's AI driven. I think AI is going to be this and Fetch. Fetch is another one. Like, guys, this is a whole huge uptrend, right? I mean, you're talking 17 cents to like $3.50. Huge correction, consolidation will likely go higher. Right? I mean, you can see the same things here. This is going from pennies of pennies to $1 all the way back down to then send again. That's how these things operate. And I think they'll do it again, personally. So let's talk a couple things. If you're not in if you're not, in a trade or in a long, I do not believe you should be longing right now at all. You are in the danger zone, friends, and a lot of that. I posted a short opportunity earlier. We shorted this. Could we have held it longer? Sure, right? But here's my problem with holding a short right now. And I know this is going to sound crazy. Could we get a better opportunity short, like a range, and we get a cleaner short? Sure. That's likely what happens, in my opinion. I think this bounces soon. Plus, we just created bullish divergences here. So I was like, plus stock RSI is resetting. I think it bounces soon, personally. But here's the thing. I don't think you guys should be longing here. And if it wasn't obvious, we're at all-time highs. You should never long anything at all-time highs. Look at the 2-hour. Look where the 2-hour was. Right? Some of the most oversold we've ever been. Right? Look at the 4-hour. 4 hours correcting. Look, things are correcting. You're right. But in the medium term, it is not worth longing right now. Not at all. Like, we could correct all the way back to 102. And, you'd miss out on a lot on that. You'd probably capitulate those longs, miss the long opportunity here, and then you're back to longing a local top. Do I think you should be shorting? Probably not. You kind of missed the short entry here, in my opinion. That is what it is. Hello, I have USDT in my wallet. I don't know how to transfer them to the exchange. These are the words from my OKX wallet. Bean actress. Wait. Why are you sending me that? What do you mean you don't know how to transfer to the exchange? Watch a YouTube video. Any opinion on following the liquidity rotations? As you mentioned, money will trickle its way down. Is it too late for those people to buy into them coins as liquidity moves around? I mean, it's not necessarily too late to buy, but here's the problem. And I've discussed this on a couple different live streams. Look, at the end of the day, I'm gonna give you a pretty wild scenario. Right? Do I think this is gonna happen? No, but there's always a chance it could. What if we don't get an alt season and Trump getting inaugurated on the 20th is the top and then the market just shuts down? Right? Then you quite literally bought the top. Not to mention, right now, a lot of these alts just bounced quite a lot. Like, you're kind of too late to even buy like a short-term long or a medium-term long. In my opinion, like, look at Link. Link's up 40%. That's not worth buying right now. Would the 70 RSI indicator on Bitcoin point out the end of alt season 2? Not necessarily. What points out the end of alt season to me is alt's fucking gig ascending. Like, imagine Ethereum's at $12,000. Right? Or let's say Ethereum goes to 20K. Just something crazy. Because Ethereum's been consolidating. When this breaks, dude, I mean, 10K is the minimum I expect. But let's say Ethereum goes to like 12K. Bitcoin looks like it's distributing. You know, Tau goes all the way to $2,500. Link's at $50. Fetch is at fucking $7. I mean, at some point you have to ask yourself, like, I'm up a shit ton of money. I should probably sell. I don't really know where the top is. No one knows where it is, right? I mean, there's always going to be that one person that gets lucky. But at some point, what you need to do is say, okay, in a realistic stance, let's say you didn't buy Bitcoin until like 70K. You're just one of those people, you bought at 70K. You need to look at this from a cycle-wide perspective. Now, I know for some people, they're like, oh, I really want like a 10x on Bitcoin. Well, you're not going to get it. Your 10x opportunity was down at the bottom. And those type of people that got that are few and far between. So you have to look at this and be like, okay, you almost have to think like, if I was a buyer at 15K or 20K or 25K, where would I be happy with profits and what makes sense? In a way. Hard to explain. And you also have to look at other indications as well. My biggest mistake since learning of crypto is discovering leverage trading. My spot bags have made more profit than leverage ever did. It's just a lot of people don't understand leverage. See, I use leverage because I don't like to keep a lot of capital on exchange. Like, I trade with $200,000 to $400,000. I'm not keeping $200,000 to $400,000 on exchange. I keep like $10,000 on exchange and trade with 20 to 40x. Like, and why do I do that? Yes, okay, my loss is the same. So if I'm trading with 10K, we'll say 10K on 20x or 200K on 1x. I think I pay a little bit more in fees. So the downside, I think you pay more fees on this. I'm actually going to do this. We'll just write, actually, I'm not doing the whole pie graph thing. So 200K at 1x or 10K and 20x, which is better? Really depends. Actually, it doesn't depend for me. I already know which one I'd pick. So one, I would never use leverage unless you understand risk. Like, no matter what happens, I'm trading with at least $200,000. Like, that's just how I operate. That's how I make income. That's what I do. I swing trade with that. I day trade with that, whatever it is, right? Is it a lot? Is my loss potentially a lot? Yeah, but my gains offset my losses and so on and so forth. Anyways, why do I pick this one over this one? Couple reasons. One, if I have 10,000 on 20x, that frees up $190,000 to put in a money market, to put into long-term stocks, to put in long-term crypto, to put in a house, to buy real estate, to do whatever, right? So I have freed up capital to do whatever with, right? To go make me more money while I can still trade by acting as if I have $200,000. I know that's a something big to wrap your brain around. But here's the biggest reason why I do this. Or maybe I said that was the biggest reason. That's actually not true. This is the biggest reason. Let's say we have an FTX situation again on whatever exchange I'm trading on. Whether it's, I don't, again, I'm not saying this would ever happen to Coincatch, but if it did, right, it's always good to protect yourself. What if Coincatch shits the bed and has a whole FTX operation? Which do you think is better? Losing 10K or losing $200,000? Right? I like to keep minimal amounts of money on exchange just in case there's a catastrophe. That's really what that's there for. Because look, let's say I lose $5,000, right? Just had a bad trading week. $5,000, I lost it. It happens, sucks. We move on. What do? I go in and I just transfer another $5,000 in. That way I'm not risking a shit ton of money in a catastrophic event. That goes for spot holdings too. Like all my spot holdings are on my ledger or on various different exchanges. You recommended Curve DAO a long time ago? No, I never recommended DAO. I recommended Tau, but it's a little too late now. Help me, please. This is my words of my OKX wallet. Dude, I don't know how I can help you. So essentially you trade with 10K, but it's as if you own 200,000. So, okay, so I have to put this in another words. No matter what, right? I am going to trade with $200,000, whether it's on 1x or I'm taking 10K in 20x, right? The reason why I'm not putting this on exchange is to avoid a catastrophe. That way, look, and look, this comes with a lot, right? I've made a lot of money trading. Like I trade with a lot of money. This is what I do, right? This is my job. This is how I make income. This is how I pay for shit. This is how I live my lifestyle, right? No matter what, I'm trading with $200,000 to $400,000. That's my rule. Could it increase over time? Sure, I'd love to bring it to $1 million one day. Maybe after this cycle. But am I comfortable with trading day trading $1 million? Not at the moment. But even if I did trade $1 million, it would be like $20,000 with 50x, right? Because I don't take more than it couldn't be 50x. It'd probably be like $50,000 with 20x, because sometimes my stops are over like 1.5%. Laugh my ass off. When did Roman become an OKX representative? I don't even use OKX. I don't even have a partnership with them. I understand why you're avoiding catastrophe. I'm very confused on how you work out the risk metric. Okay, so the risk metric is this. If I'm trading with 200K or 10K with 20X, right? This is technically 200K, right? So, okay, here's the thing. If I go into a trade, right? Let's say I go into a trade and it's a half port trade. So if I do a half port trade that's 100K, let's say my total stop loss is 1%. 1% of $100,000 is $1,000, which is a reasonable stop loss. You should never really be taking over a 2% stop loss anyways. So, okay, we do half port. I'm just going to put 1/2. We're half port. And actually, I can show you an example of a trade we took. So, okay, we do a half port trade. We're in with 100K. It's a 1% loss, right? I lose $1,000. Now, how does the math add up here? Okay, so what I do is I put $5,000 in at 20x. That's 100,000, right? It equates 100,000. Your position size is 5,000. With a 1% stop, that's still $1,000. So yes, technically I'm losing 20% of my portfolio with the 5,000, but no matter what happens, this is my bank to trade with. If I need another $1,000 or $2,000, I'll pull it out and put it into here. If that makes sense. Every cent would maybe that. Yeah, if I traded with $1 million, it'd be crazy. But the thing is, your fees are. I mean, you can't just like make like a 0.2% trade, because even though you make like $2,000 from that, right? You'd have to pay like $1,500 in fees. So that's kind of how that works. Like, I always have a bank of 200K. It's just not sitting on exchange, right? I want to avoid a catastrophe, and that's why I'm using the 10K on 20X, if that makes sense. So imagine there's, and I guess an even better way, and I've really never had to explain this that well in detail. I probably should have. Let's do this. So, okay, let's say there's this invisible bank, right? Invisible bank, and it always has $200,000 in it, right? What I'm saying is, instead of taking this bank and putting it all on Coincatch to make trades, I'm taking 10,000 each time, right? Now, not each time. Like, I'm just trading with 10,000 on Coincatch. Let's do this. I'm just taking 10,000 with 20X. You know, if I have a bad week and lose 1,000 or 2,000 or 500, whatever it is, I reach in the bank, go back in. If I have a profitable week, what I do is I take those profits, put them back into the bank. That would really only work if you have the money to basically run that system. It makes a lot of sense now. Yeah, I mean, you should never use you should never use leverage unless you, like, in my opinion, until you have like at least a full year of profitability. Because I'll tell you what, dude, even to this day, I still have days where I just become an emotional piece of shit. And I'm like, oh, we're over. Like, let me show you this. So I'd be like, oh my God, the 15-minute is. Be like, oh man, the 15 minutes, like the most overbought it's been in a long time. Like, let me try and be smart here, right? 15 minutes super overbought. I enter a short up there. It dumps. I get overconfident. Stops me out, right? Lose a bunch of money. Every once in a while, I do that type of shit, and I am slowly stopping. I do it about once a year now. Originally, it was like once a month. Then it was like a couple times a year. Now it's like once a year. Or I'll just have like one day where I just make a bunch of stupid decisions, and you know, it happens. But that's how that works. What happens if we was to use leverage through following your trades? So okay, first of all, whenever you join my Telegram, I'm advising you guys not to use leverage. Okay, this is how you use risk, and it doesn't matter whether you're using leverage or not, right? My total risk is always going to be based on the bank's money. So imagine you're trading with 1x, right? That's how I'm kind of imagining that I have 200,000 on 1x, even though I'm trading 10,000 on 20x. So what you're going to do is, let's say you have $100. Oh shit. Say you have $100 and you're trading on 1x, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Trade as you will. Again, if you're new to trading, do not use leverage. Wait. Become profitable, and then you can use leverage. But $100, 1x, if I say, hey, and this is the trade we took earlier, right? I'm going to show you the exact setup. And I'm going to remove this so I can type it out again. So, okay, we're looking at this 1 hour earlier today. We said, okay, we have bearish divergences here, right? Higher highs, lower highs. We're going to enter on close, which we did, right? 105.6. 105.6. I said move your stops about 1.2% above, which would be 107.54. 107.154. So look, if you have $100 on 1x, the maximum risk you can take is a total 1.2% loss. However, I said go half port, because these setups we go half port, and you would have lost 0.6% if it didn't work out. That's how that works. Like, all of the risk is transitive. What's not is the amount of leverage I'm using. So I do not recommend you guys use leverage. I am, because I'm trying to not have a ton of money on exchange. It's just dangerous for me personally. This makes so much sense. I'm almost dying from revelation. So you have 5K in the bank. You could use $250 on 20x, and if you lose 1%, you just replace one. Yeah, exactly. Pretty much. Yeah. That's how I treat leverage. Now, some people treat leverage way different. They're, gambling clowns and they tell you to use leverage, and if you don't, you'll never make money in the space. That's not true. 90% of the I wouldn't say 90. Actually, I'd say a good 50 to 60% of the money that I've made in the space, I've never used leverage. So, I mean, getting started in trading, there really weren't leveraged options for me. It was all spot trading anyways. But yeah, if you have $5,000 in the bank and you're trading with $250, yeah, you use 20x, right? That way, in a case of catastrophe, or, you know, if you're a savvy financial person, you could have this in a 5% earning like bond or savings account, right? And then it's not just money sitting in exchange not doing anything. That's the biggest one for me. Like, you have all these people that are trading with an egregious amount of money, like hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars. Well, what happens when you're, okay, so yes, you're trading with that, but you could be trading with leverage, right? And having that in like a savings account, and then you're making money on top of the money that's just sitting there, if that makes sense. So this 5,000, okay, now you have 4,750, right? You're going to take 250 out. You could have this sitting in a savings account that you could pull from, and it's making 5 to 10% a year on that savings account, that high yield savings account. That's literally the big difference. Leverage is used like clowns, yet you use it with extremely tight risk. This says explained a lot. Thank you. Oh, no problem. No problem. Glad you learned something. Yeah, I was talking to Castillo Trading, and like, I'm always been the guy that's against leverage. I think leverage is dangerous. I think it's I thought it was stupid. And I was talking to him, and he was like, dude, I keep like $20,000 on exchange. I'm like, why? He's like, because, dude, like, then I don't have to keep. I'm not gonna share how much he trades with. That's his business, but that way he can take the other. So let's say he's trading with 20 grand, right? And it might not even be 20 grand. It might be whatever he's using. But he's taking X amount of dollars, and one is to avoid catastrophe, and the other is he can put his money into Coinbase, earning 5% a year on USDC. Think about that. You can literally take your 5 grand, you have your 5K, right? Just sitting there. It's not doing anything. You take, if you wanted to do $250 on 20X, right? 20X. This other 4,750, you go to Coinbase, you buy USDC, you make 5% a year on that. Now, is it a lot of money? No, but at least it's making something for you. At least it's doing something instead of just sitting in an exchange not doing anything. And then while you're day trading, you're also making money on this. Now you feel like a fucking god, right? The UFC main event tomorrow is going to be a goodie. I'm in, dude. If you're around, I'll watch it with you. I'll be adopting this later on, but doing it off following your trades as I lack the level of financial expertise. I mean, what I always try to tell people is, look, while you're, even if you're just learning or follow, like, if I know some people just follow the trades because they just want to follow it. They don't care about they don't want to do it on their own. But if you're there learning, like, use even less money and take like 4 or 5 months and just learn the system. And then you can do it on your own, or you can apply like more like let's say you're using like $50 instead of $250. Then like after 6 months and you're like, okay, I think I get this. I've had 4 profitable months in a row. Then you start using your $250. Yeah, and then never get it off Coinbase when they pause the withdrawal. That's just not true, dude. I've used Coinbase for 7 years. I've never had an issue with them. That's just a bunch of bullshit. Yeah, you can even earn more interest on DeFi stuff, upwards of 12%. Yeah, that's true. My problem with that is it can be a little weird. It can be a little weird. Plus, I think you have to hold the token, but I could be wrong. But I've never had an issue with Coinbase withdrawals, man. And I'm constantly, I don't want to say I'm constantly pulling hundreds of thousands of dollars, but I am constantly moving money, like large sums of money through, you know, depending on your definition of large. But I'm moving 6 figures on and off Coinbase all the time. I've never had an issue. Like, Coinbase is going to freeze your withdrawal if you did something spooky to get your money. Yeah, I definitely won't be using anywhere near as much money as 200K. Much less. I mean, dude, to be fair, I started trading with like $5,000 as well. That was like 2018, I think. Yeah, 2018 I was trading with $5,000. Now I trade with this. I mean, it's definitely a work in progress. It takes a little while, but once you get it down, you'll get it down. True, no need to hold the token, but you need some expertise on how to use MetaMask wallet. Dude, I don't like MetaMask wallets. They get hacked all the time, I'm pretty sure. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I'm not trying to shut down your idea. But like you said, that's another thing. Like your 4750, you know, you can put it into fucking MetaMask and make 12% a year. I mean, look, it all depends. I don't advise anyone in using leverage until you understand what it means. The whole point is you're freeing up capital and you're keeping yourself from a catastrophe. What I would never do is take $200,000 and trade 20 times leverage. No. Like, that is ridiculous. Yeah, it is pretty sketchy. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. Lot of good discussion today, guys. Thank you for all the questions. I'm gonna give maybe a couple of final thoughts, and then I gotta get out of here. I need to go make some food. Just real quick, I know I've talked about this. I do share all of my trading for free on Telegram. If you're interested, go look at the pinned tweet in my X profile. We posted a short this morning. You know, unfortunately, and look, I'm honest and transparent. We're ending break even this week. Last week we were slightly profitable. The week before that we were very profitable. So look, you're gonna have good and bad weeks. If you're wondering why I did not have a great week this week, I'll explain it now, and then we'll end the stream. Look at just look at the daily. We in the last in the last 4 or 5 days, really the last week, we've done this. And if you look at a 1 hour or 4 hour, there's not really a defined trend. There were trades, and I was a little skeptical on taking them just because I don't like taking more than like a 1% risk on trades, especially day trades. Really like a 0.5% risk, but if I have to, I'll use like half portfolio, 1%, that's 0.5. And some of these trades that ended up being like really solid, like this one and this one, even this one, those risks were just too high for me. They ended up playing out really well. Plus, I made a mistake. I would have ended this week in a decent amount of profit if I didn't make this mistake. So there was a short here. Originally, I had my stop up here. Unfortunately, I added to this position. And as it kept climbing, we kind of hit my ceiling for risk. And I said, look, I got to exit. It doesn't matter what happens here. I have to exit. We ended up re-entering, I believe, somewhere up here. We ended up making like half the loss back. So, you know, not horrible, but had we had played this the normal way I play it, I would have either broke even or made slight profits. So definitely not ideal, but that's just how it goes sometimes. But ending break even this week, I'm happy about for sure. Well, more risk, more reward. Simply, yeah, that's true. All right, guys, I'm going to end it there. If you have any questions, hit me up on Twitter or join Discord. It's free. Again, all my trades are shared on Telegram for free. With all that said, I hope you guys have a great weekend. Go Ohio State Buckeyes. Let's go. Trump getting in on the 20th. I'll probably have a live stream for that. But with all that said, guys, have a great weekend. Be safe. And always remember, be patient, users management, and good luck.